Today's episode is going to make you money. We got Daniel Felt. He runs multiple different companies. Today he's talking about social media. Here's the thing about Daniel. He's not a philosopher on social media. He's a practitioner. He started a different business, a routine home maintenance company called Cura Home, where he was the owner-operator. Okay, back in 2017, 18, he was a one-man band. That operation is now a 7-8-figure business. I think he's at 8 figures now. And it's being franchised across the country. And social media was one of his biggest lead generation and marketing growth avenues, traffic sources. So what he's talking about today is proven strategies. And now he runs these strategies for other business owners because they saw the success that Cura Home had. And they kept asking him, hey, Daniel, what'd you do? And so he thought, to make this sustainable, I just need to put together an agency and run the exact same playbook I did for Cura Homes. We go through it all. Daniel is an open book. So if you want to implement the strategies, you're going to make money. Hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's get to the episode.
My name is Daniel Felt. I am a very serious entrepreneur. I don't know if I qualify serial yet, but own several companies. My wife and I have been married for 7 years. We have 3 kids. We live in Delano, Minnesota. I am a homebody, but at the same time, I absolutely love growing businesses. Current business that I'm very excited about is Constant Social, which is a social media management company.
So social media, it's been around since early 2000s. Everybody's familiar, obviously. It seems like there's still opportunity and there's still businesses out there that don't understand how to properly use it. So before we get into like tactics, strategies, mindsets behind using it and using it effectively for business, can you just share like the incentives or why people should even care and what kind of success you've seen with it?
Yeah. A lot of our success came from using it for one of my oldest companies, which is Cura Home. And we just consistently continue to post and following a strategy of not just telling people, hey, buy my service now, but actually using it as like an SEO platform, using it as a PR platform, telling people what we have going on in our business, and just showing people that, hey, we're here, we're open, we want your business. Here's some unique selling propositions. We're the subject matter expert, doing all those things through social media because people are not going to go to your website nearly as frequently as they are going to be scrolling through social media. Today, the average American spends about 2 hours and 32 minutes a day on social media. And so being there, being in front of those people is extremely important. But additionally, a lot of people think social media, they're gonna throw out a few platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We also think of social media as an SEO platform. So using your Google business profile, using YouTube, which is owned by Google, just to tell the world what you do and where you want to do it. So answering frequently asked questions about your business. If you have questions that you have for your office staff or what you always frequently answer, you should get that documented. Sit down in front of a podcast or a video and just start answering those questions so that you're telling the world, your audience, what you do. And additionally, we use social media as a networking platform to connect with people. So we're actually going in and we're engaging with potential referral partners or potential clients so that you're building your brand and you're showing them that here we are. So it all kind of comes full circle of using it as SEO, using it as a PR, using it showing that you're a subject matter expert, tapping on referral partners, letting them know that you're here, you're supporting them, so that when they come full circle all the way around and come look at your actual content that you're posting, they see that you are, in fact, the subject matter expert and you're someone that they want to work with. And if you're consistently posting, that's great. A lot of companies we see, they haven't posted since like 2018. Some of them haven't posted since July 4th. And today's generation, they look at your reviews. Where are you at? Are you at a 4, 4.5, 4.9, 5.0? And when's the last time you posted? And if it hasn't been for 12 months, 18 months, and then they call you and you happen to be on their call and they leave a voicemail, they might not even leave that voicemail because you've lost all these little trust touch points. And they're like, are you guys even in business anymore? And so where if you've posted 18 hours ago or 2 hours ago and Google sees you're in business, your audience sees you're in business, referral partners see you're in business, and that has been a proven strategy to work really well for our clients.
So we're going to get into the objections and like kind of reframing what I experienced, and I think what a lot of other business owners experience with actually implementing and executing on everything that you've just spoken on. But before that, what kind of hard numbers, you don't have to say any business names, but give us something tangible. What kind of impact has this had on businesses?
Yeah. So for my personal business, Cura Home, that we've been running for years, we today do roughly $1,000, $2,000 worth of work per day from people saying they heard about us on Instagram or Facebook. Plus our SEO is I'm really, really happy with it, really impressed. And those are a few things we're doing differently. For other clients that don't share their P&L with me, I've recently heard feedback of a client that we've been working with for 6 months. They're a franchise. They were doing $60,000 a month when they work with us. He actually talked to me yesterday. We had a check-in, and he's now doing $200,000 a month in sales. So he went from $60,000 6 months ago to $200,000 6 months later. That's over 3 times in sales. And what he contributes it to is us posting on social media, and all these people that have used him in the past and have liked his page, we're additionally going in and engaging with his client list and potential people that would use his services. And they've all been reminded that he's here, he's in business, and they started putting orders in. And he's like, and they're great orders. They're clients I want. So that's been some of the things. We've also seen actual proof of, like, seeing geogrids of how you rank for the keywords for your website improve as well. So it's kind of like SEO. Some things are hard to track. Be like, is this all from us, or did you have a sales guy? But it's also really great to hear from clients that, hey, we've tripled in business. We've gone from a $720,000 a year business to a $2.5 million a year business in 6 months, because all these people that have worked with us in the past are being touched again through social media, and they see that we're the subject matter expert, and they're seeing the content that we can provide for them.
Yeah, that's insane.
It is.
And that's the only variable that he pulled. So like
yeah, right. Yeah. So it's really, really fun to see. It kind of makes me feel like our $750 a month worth of social media for him is maybe not enough, but it's like, it's really rewarding as someone who's providing a service to be like, man, this is working so well. And you know, he's now the number one franchise out of 120 different franchises.
Wow. They're going to start asking him, hey, how you doing this?
100%. Yeah. We're prepping for some growth from that franchisee. Or that franchise.
Might be time to raise prices.
It just might be.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. So right off the bat, here's one thing I want to understand more so than, okay, we'll just dive into it, is the way you approach social media with posting and engaging and how you use it versus, say, a business owner, he's on the job site, takes a photo of, he's cutting down a tree or something, takes it and posts it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's good. It's better than nothing. But tell me how your system versus maybe their system.
Yep, for sure.
One of the top questions I get from business owners is, hey, I want to make content, but I don't know what to shoot. Well, I made a 12-month guide. Basically, this is the roadmap that will take you from nothing to a strong foundation. If you want it, the link is in the show notes below. If not, all good. Let's get back to the show.
Number one, I'm going to say consistency. We're going to be consistent. That's why we named the company Constant Social. We're going to be very, very consistent with your content. And what we do is we want to make social media a revenue driving tool for your business. And we're going to play the SEO game doing that. So our first recommendation is to have you sit down and answer frequently asked questions about your business that you haven't done before. So sit down in a podcast in front of a camera. Maybe it's in your car. We don't care. Just film it. Get it out there. And start answering some of these frequently asked questions. You can find those on answerthepublic.com, ChatGPT, Google. Maybe you have them in your SOPs already. And just start rattling it off. And that can take an hour to 2 hours. From there, we want to put those into short, small little bits and get those in reels. When a lot of people are scrolling through social media, they're scrolling through these reels. And when they see it, it's a matter of, I didn't even know I had that question. Wow, that's really interesting. There's all these unique, different things about every business that the business owner is like, oh, that's common knowledge. Everyone knows that. No, they don't. You're the only one who knows that about your business. We got to get it out there. So we're telling Google and YouTube and all the other platforms that you're the subject matter expert by getting that. Additionally, we're going to take your brand and your business that you currently have, you put a lot of effort into on your website, but you might have low traffic to your website. So when we create content for you on a monthly basis, we're taking these bits that you recorded, maybe a professional photographer as well, come to your business, and we're going to take your website and we're going to take all that information that you have and we're going to put a megaphone on it. We're going to broadcast it out to the world on your platforms. We do encourage you as well, if you're that tree trimmer, to take that video and say, hey, everyone, we're out here, we're cutting down an oak tree. Best time of the year to do it this so you don't get oak wilt or whatever it is, right? Like, start telling people, why is now a great time? Why are you doing what you're doing? Share some information. Maybe that's 10, 15, 30 seconds. You don't need a microphone. You don't need all this stuff. Just get it out there. And so we're going to then consistently post that on all the platforms. Most people are not posting on your Google business profile. That is huge. Google released several updates in the spring of 2024, how important it is to be utilizing their platform, and they want you posting on your Google business profile, and a majority of people are not. It's above 95% of businesses are not posting on their Google business profile. And if you look at Kira Home or any one of our clients that we're working for, we are posting every single day on that platform.
Okay, so talk to me about how when you post and you post daily, a lot of times it's crickets. At least that's what it feels like. For me, like, people have said, post more, be consistent. It's like, okay, I'll try. The more I post, the less engagement it seems I get. It's like, oh, people don't care about me anymore. And then it kind of discourages me. And, or if it doesn't discourage me, I might see a couple likes on a photo or that tree trimmer. He's like, does this work? I don't know. And then they kind of lose interest.
Right.
So talk to me about, is it working even if there's no engagement?
Yeah, 100%. Because you're getting the content out there. You're telling SEO, you're telling the platform that, hey, here it is. Your clients that are silently scrolling are seeing that you are consistent. You're sending a message about who you are. You're building your brand even through that. If you talk to anyone who's hit it big in social media, myself included, I've had videos that have gotten 46 million views. Like, that's just an insane amount to me. But that didn't happen the first time or the first week or the second week. Most people, you're going to hear numbers in the hundreds. They had to post hundreds of times before something hit. It took like 300 posts. That's almost a year of posting. And most people, to your point, do not have the endurance to keep doing something like that they feel like isn't working. However, for a lot of our clients, what we see is somewhere between that 2 and 4 month time frame, you start building that. You start getting people saying, hey, I heard about you. And the main way to get that engagement is to give engagement. So we'll actually go in for our clients and we'll do 30 plus comments a day and 30 plus likes a day with potential referral partners. And we're playing a psychological game of supporting them. You're just going, if they post hey, we got a 5-star review, right? Great job on getting this review. Well deserved. If they write a blog post, thanks for sharing this. Great information. Just a very basic thing. We're not doing anything. We're not commenting on like political content or doing anything that could be woke. We're just showing the algorithms and that potential referral partner, that potential client, that we're here, we support you, and they're seeing your brand name every single time. It'd be like a billboard right in front of their office. Imagine if you had your billboard on the side of the bus and you knew every single day it was going to drive by, someone's going to stick their head out with an oil to be like, hey guys, keep up the good work. See you tomorrow. That's what we're doing on social media. We're giving these guys a virtual high five. We're giving them a virtual clap, showing them that we're there to support, and it starts coming around. But unfortunately, most people have the attention span of less than a goldfish. And so to do the endurance that it takes to build your social media platform, it takes time, but it does work really, really well if you can stay consistent. And so if you are going to go down a social media journey, I would say give it like 6 months to start seeing results. And like I said, for a lot of our clients, we see quite a bit happening in that 2 to 4 month time frame. And we have some clients that have very boring services. They are not sexy. This is not something that's going to go virtual, but they're targeting like very, very specific clients. And we were able to really narrow in on that and engage with those and create content that is for that specific client. And they don't have tens of thousands of followers, but they have the exact followers and they're in front of exactly the people that they want to be in front of.
I want to talk about that. But first, I want to ask you about when, say, people on your team are engaging with the other company. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like, does that really work? Because if it's one of your, say, just entry-level employees engaging with one of their entry-level employees, does that move the needle?
Yeah, we're seeing it. And I mean, not for every single time. If you're saying, hey, engage with these 30 clients. So a good example of this is we have a company that provides subcontractors to roofers. So he gave us a list of 1,200 roofers that he wants to engage with. Now, on month 2, are all 1,200 coming in? Nope. It's like, hey, we actually give him a report at the end of the month. Hey, these 20 people engaged back with you. So this is a really good opportunity now for you, rather than you cold calling, be like, hey, my name is Daniel and I want to work with you. Like, hey, I see that, you guys have been engaging with us back and forth on social media. Love seeing what you have going on. Would you be able to have a cup of coffee, just talk about, is there a way that we could collaborate more than just online? So it's a really nice warm lead into that. Other people, if you wait even longer, you keep doing that engagement, you keep building it, all of a sudden that business owner reaches out. And I've felt that, I've had that personally several times, constant social, of people reaching out like, hey, who's doing this, right? Because we like it. And we've had people reaching out, like on the Cura Home side, we're engaging with HVAC companies because we do air duct cleaning. And they're like, hey, who's doing your social media? What do you guys, like, we love what you guys are doing. Plus, like, we see all your content. We see all your reviews. You guys are doing a good job. Like, all of a sudden, we were on the map. Like, it put us on the map for that company by engaging. If I would have walked in that office with, like, hey, a cold intro, my name is Daniel, here's what I am. Like, it gives you a warm lead that it's very difficult to create in any other way. So that's what we're seeing for our clients. But to your point, no, it's not like a guarantee, like, engage with these 30 people and all 30 are eventually going to come, because some people don't even pay attention to it. However, what I would argue is if you asked any business owner that has a social media presence at all, would you like to see more comments and more likes on your social media in the next 12 months? Every single one of them is going to say yes. Like they're just not aware of what's going on. No one would say, I would prefer to have fewer people engaging with my business. They're not going to say that. So we're giving business owners what they want.
That makes total sense. And I love that approach, because sometimes what I've done is sent an email to somebody cold, knowing I'm not going to get a response, but then it opens the door for me to use it as an excuse to be like, hey, I sent you an email, just following up, thought I'd give you a call here. But I love that you're actually giving support. Even it's a different, same idea, different approach, I think more effective. Okay, I want to know some high-level frameworks or mindsets for if that business owner isn't ready to hire Constant Social right now. Give them some ideas and maybe like campaigns, or what can they post? Because I hear that all the time. Like, I don't know what to post. I don't know. So I know you've mentioned the how-to, the SEO stuff. Give us some other maybe ideas of how they can keep it fresh. And
so I would create a schedule. If you're trying every single day to come up with a new fresh post on that day, you're gonna fail. It's pretty much guaranteed. So come up with something like, hey, on Tuesdays we're gonna do like Testimonial Tuesday. I'm gonna take a screenshot of a review that we've received, and I'm gonna share it. And I'm gonna share about what the service you did that for that client. Like, really happy we could take care of Jeanette's, tree trimming at her location in Long Lake, Minnesota. Perfect. Way to go. You're playing a really awesome game there that a lot of people don't even realize you're playing. So that's every Tuesday. Okay, now we only need to do 6 posts a week. Sharing, did you know? Did you know that the best time to trim your tree, this type of tree, is this time of year? I'm just spitting out ideas for a tree trimming company. That's a really good way. But if you sit there and you wake up and all of a sudden it's like noon, it's 3 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock, you're like, I haven't posted today, and now it's time to eat dinner, and it's like, it's just going to disappear. So my recommendation is to set a schedule and email me. I'll give you a schedule that we recommend based on tips and tricks, brand awareness, testimonials, did you know, trying to get people engaged, keep them going, something a little bit different. I would focus on one day of the week being more promotional. You have to tell people what you want them to do. So, do you have a dead tree in your backyard? Call us today. Like, be more direct about that, but don't do that every single day, because you're not running an ad. You're playing an SEO game. So you're trying to build a relationship with your people. And then my second recommendation is to use a scheduling software. If you're trying to do this every single day, you're going to fail. There's no way you can do it, but consistency is so important in social media. So there's a whole bunch out there. We have a white label software that we use. We really like it. It's really simple. If people want to use it, we let them use it, where you have access to it. It connects in with like Canva, things like that are really easy to edit, use your stuff, and it's really simple to use. But you just have to be intentional about it. Our goal with most business owners, get to the point where if you're working with us at Constant Social, once we get content from you, we need about 15 to 20 minutes of your time once a month for you to approve content. So I don't know what your time is worth, but for most people to pay a couple $100, it's like, that's perfect. Now I don't have to think about this for the rest of the month. It is well worth it. So set a schedule and use a scheduling software to put yourself on autopilot. If you're trying to film every single day and you're trying to create fresh new content every single day, you're gonna fail in less than a month. It's gonna be almost impossible.
You've mentioned something about SEO. I think about that with back in the day, blogging and that sort of thing. Is social media also driving SEO to your website, or what is the SEO?
Yeah, so SEO, we're playing a few games. Number one, posting on your Google business profile, just telling Google what you do, where you do it. If you're doing films, you were posting on YouTube. YouTube is the second most used search engine behind Google and owned by Google. So now we're using the first and second most used search engines to tell them what you do and where you do it. And by the way, I'm really good at it. Look how much information I have. I'm the expert. If someone Googles when's the best time of the year to trim my oak tree, look at Joe's tree trimming, put a video up about this. And here's the best answer. And he's local. He's right here. Google is trying to compress service-based businesses, especially, to working in smaller areas. And so in return, they have to pay ads so they can get into larger service areas. So playing that SEO game is just telling the internet what you do and where you do it. Additionally, if you link your accounts to your Google business profile, which most people have it, you're just telling Facebook, look, here's more proof. Here's like the version of a backlink. Here's more proof of what I do and where I do it. You're posting there. It's scanning that. The internet is scanning all these different sites all the time, looking for what you have going on. So that's why backlinks work really well for businesses and all these other things. So you want to have proof out there. You want to build a trust relationship with Google, showing it what you do. So that's SEO in a summary, showing the internet you're the subject matter expert and what you want to do and where you want to do it. And so putting content out all the time does that for you.
I haven't really thought about Google My Business as social media, but what I'm hearing from you is that should be, you should post like whatever you post on Facebook, you post on Google My Business.
Yes.
And then when somebody says tree trimmer near me, because of your credibility in the SEO, are you more likely to rank higher or pop up sooner?
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Yep.
That's insane. And
what I will say is before the spring of 2024, I don't know if I could say with 100% confidence that would be the case, but after their update that happened in the spring, we actually saw people that had an incredible presence on their website and they had all the blogs and all the stuff, and they were ranking better than people that were updating their Google business profile, and they literally changed positions because Google put an emphasis and an importance of the content that you have on your Google business profile. So they're just taking it in-house.
So are whatever you're posting, like some of these, like when you make a Canva image, you have the words of the testimonial that's baked into the image. And can Google read that, or is it just an image, or should there be like a strategy behind the caption that you also write along with the picture? Or?
I think the caption is super important. I don't know enough about it if it's actually scanning that, but I do know that Google has the capabilities. Like I could pull out an example I use as, we live on a farm. We've got cats, and walked out one day with my 4-year-old son, and here's a dead bird that I'd never seen before. I can pull out the Google app and take a photo of it, and it tells me exactly the species of the bird that it is. So Google has the capability to scan an image and tell what you're doing. So if you're taking a picture of what you do, and you're saying, I'm doing it in this city, and here's what I'm doing, it's great. Additionally, one thing that I haven't even mentioned is we actually have a geotagging software that you can take a photo. That photo then, like especially if you're an Apple user, you can see where every single photo was taken on your phone. Google has the same capabilities. So you take a photo, that app puts the photo on Google Maps. It'll update your Google business profile, and through HTML code, it'll actually put it on your website as well as a mini blog post. So you can say, I trimmed a tree in this area. Here's a picture of it. So you're building a trusted relationship even more with Google. It's all about building trust with Google. I mean, that's what it is. You just can't get away with it.
We've talked about organic content. What about paid content? Are you dabbling in that? Have you experienced that? What would be your advice for when to pull that lever? Yeah.
So 25 years ago, you could, if you were in business, you could buy like the full page ad in the yellow pages, and you were like good to go. Like perfect. That's what we need to do this year. Now it's so different. There's like hundreds of options for business owners to use. And I look at a few metrics when running an ad of like, what's your average cost per job? What's your average cost per lead? And what's your close rate? And if those three numbers align, so let's say that you're willing to spend $100 to get a $500 job, just as an example. Now, if your average lead is $50 and your close rate is 50%, you're now getting a job for $100 to go to a $500 job, and you're good to go. Now, the next guy, his lead might also be $50, and he might also have a 50% close rate, but his average job is $150. It doesn't make sense for that individual to run Facebook ads. So what I think is very, very important when you're building your business is to get some of these platforms, get your solid base in place first. You wouldn't run a Facebook ad before you had a website. There's no way. So if you're running an ad, you have to make sure when people come in and they do a pulse check on you to see what's going on, do you have a website? Do you have Google reviews? Are you active on social media? So what I would encourage you to do is get your website up, start posting on social media, get that going. And then at that point, if you want to run ads, I always encourage people to start so small that if it completely blows away in the wind, you're totally fine. Christmas is not going to be ruined this year because that ad didn't work. And you need to be starting so small that it doesn't matter.
How small is so small?
Depending on your budget, like $500 a month, $1,000 a month, like enough that if, like I said, if you didn't get a single lead in an entire month, it didn't matter. And unfortunately, what happens to a lot of times is that you get like really, really crappy leads because there's so many fake profiles on these platforms. And I know like Meta and all this stuff, they're trying to like get rid of them, but you get horrible leads. And I've experienced it, like, and I'm sure you have too. Like a really great lead is like a referral from a current client. They referred someone, they know exactly what you do. The next one is this, the next one is that. So for me, a client from a paid ad, we're going to have a lower close rate than someone else. So start small. In my companies, I've spent $0 on Facebook ads, and I've spent as much as $18,000 per month on Facebook ads.
Wow.
And when we were at $18,000 per month, it was working really well. We were getting leads for like $6, $7, $8, $9 a lead. But then Facebook changed the algorithm. They didn't allow you to follow around the pixels or the cookies for 28 days. They shortened it to 9. Well, my average conversion was day 21. So my cost per lead skyrocketed. If you're not paying attention to your numbers, you're not aware of that. And all of a sudden, your profit margins are gone. They disappear. And so you have to pay attention. You have to mind your business in that format. So my encouragement is always test and measure. We're running a postcard campaign right now for my company, Cura Home. We started so small. We're doing one mail route, and we're targeting, we know exactly the cost, and I know exactly how many clients I have to get based on the average value of every single client in order for me to double down and do 2 mail routes next time. So I'm tiptoeing in it. I know every business owner wants to jump right in and just go, all in on some of these marketing things. You're like, it can't not work. I'm going to hit 10,000 homes. It can't not work. But what if it doesn't? And I've experienced that. I'm speaking from experience on this. I've had it not work. I've had a 10,000 home postcard not produce enough leads to pay for itself.
Do you do anything with the customer journey after they've seen, say they see the ad and finally on the 20th time or day 21, they want to do something, take action. They click on the ad or they click something. Is there anything else on the back end that you're helping companies with as far as support and process to get the leads, to the sales guys, or how does that work?
For constant social, we're trying to stay super in our lane. We're an organic social media management company. Like we're trying to stay right there. We don't run ads for you. We're not doing any of that stuff for you. We're not going to write a blog. We're not going to send your newsletter. Now, for my other companies, we have softwares in place to do all these things. And one of them is called, we're calling it Constant Nurture because it's a white label version of Go High Level. And what that is it's like AI, but I think to be super specific, it's an automation software. And it's a if this, then that. So when a lead comes in, where it automatically sends them a text. And then if we call and it notifies my office, call. If they call and leave a voicemail, then we'll follow up with that person. A voicemail goes out, an email goes out, a text goes out over a sequence of 7, 10, 14 days. And by having that follow-up sequence in place, it did improve our close rate from 27% up to 44% immediately when we put that in place several years ago. And we've now we see closer to a 50 to 55% close rate today because of that automation. So my encouragement to people is to make sure that leads are followed up with. Because a lot of companies don't have a lead problem. They have like a close rate problem. They have a follow-up problem. And so you need to utilize all your current leads that you're getting. I believe most businesses should see a 40 to 50% close rate. If you're not, you're probably not following up with your clients enough. You should go for no. Go until people say, no, I've decided to go somewhere. I've decided not to use you. I've used someone else, or we're not going to have this done.
I want to put a pin in that for a second. Ask one more question about social and organic social before we go into maybe some more processes and go into constant nurture and that sort of thing.
Sounds good.
This is a little bit adjacent, but when it comes to making content, you've done a lot of video and people are really afraid of video. What tips do you have for people to get more comfortable on video, or who should be on video? Who is the people that should push through the discomfort, and how should you think about not needing to be on video, and help people kind of organize in their mind if it's something that they really need to pursue and overcome, or if it doesn't really matter for them.
Ever lost a big job because you didn't follow up? Or had a great contact go cold? Staying in touch is tough, and big CRMs just get in the way. In Touch keeps it simple. It automatically syncs your contacts, reminds you to follow up, and keeps your network strong. Tap the link in the description to download In Touch now, only on the App Store.
Yeah. For most people that we're working with, the business owner needs to be on camera. That's the level. Now, if you're State Farm, right, they've got their spokespeople in place because they have a budget to do that. Most businesses don't. 99.9% don't. So the business owner needs to be on camera. Now, we have worked with people that are so not willing to be on camera. And I think the most important thing to do is you don't want to stand up on your first time and get in front of the lights and get in front of the camera and get in front of someone who says action and okay, now perform. It's not realistic. Most people aren't there. So you need to start small and start in a very comfortable way. Like a podcast like this is what I would really, really encourage most people to start, and just start having a conversation. Don't look at the cameras. Don't think about the cameras. Think of it as if you're having a conversation with someone at a coffee shop and they're asking you questions about your business. If that still makes you nervous, think of it as when you started your business, you probably had to answer the phones and schedule work. Think of it as a customer calling in and asking you a question. How do you answer that? So just getting comfortable doing that and start small. You don't need a TV crew to come out and it's not lights, camera, action and you need to perform or be scripted. Just relax and just start having, and I tell some people, if you need to have a cocktail before you start doing it, if that's your thing, do that. Like do whatever you have to do just to relax and have a basic conversation. But most businesses, the reason why people use you is because they like you as the business owner. They see your core values. They see your brand. They want to support you. And we've seen that even with social media content. We'll post all these photos because we have some clients that are like, just start posting and we'll get you content later. And 3 months later, still don't have it, right? So we're just like, we're pulling content out of nowhere. We're creating it. And then all of a sudden we get a photo of the business owner and we'll see a photo that typically gets however many engagements, let's say 5 likes, 5 comments. And the business owner has a photo of him saying like, hey guys, we're here today. And, just want to, like, we hired someone new and they have a picture of him and the employee. And that gets like triple, 5x, 10x, like an insane amount of that. And I've seen that it's every single time. When the business owner is there, people follow your page. They like it because they want to work with you. So the business owner needs to get there. You just got to start and you got to start doing repetition. And it's going to be uncomfortable the first time. What I used to do when I first started doing this in 2016 is to get myself way out of my comfort zone. I would just go Facebook Live. I'd have like 1 or 2 people follow. Like, you can see the amount of people that are watching, but I'd be like Facebook Live. Like, hey everyone, Daniel here, Cura Home. We're here in Maple Grove, Minnesota, and we're cleaning an air exchanger. And here's why we're cleaning it. Look how dirty that is. And I'd have like dust in my face and I would screw up and I'd laugh it off. But I'm telling you, you do that a couple times and you're on Facebook Live, 2 people, 1 to 2 people are watching, right? I mean, it's like basically having a Zoom meeting, but you start to get those jitters out and you just start to just relax. And today at this point, when you put me in front of a camera and you ask me a question, I can just rattle stuff off. I don't say an and jitter off because I'm not nervous. I'm just having a conversation with you, Danny. Are other people going to listen to this and see this in the future? 100%. But I'm not thinking about those people. I'm trying to give you great answers. I'm trying to have a great conversation with you.
Have you experienced any negative feedback or anything like that? Because I think that's what a lot of people fear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how common it is, but what has been your experience?
Yeah, I've had pushback. I've had people sitting in front of a camera and they get up and walk out. I can't do this. I'm not willing to do it. I'm not ready to do it. Okay, that's fine. But like, if you're not willing to do what it takes to have a better social media presence, that's on you as a business owner. Like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, come on, let's work through your feelings and get going. No, like, grab life by the horns and do it. Like, sit down and start talking. You're really smart. You're a very knowledgeable business owner. If I flip the script, Danny, I started talking to you about, tell me about these lights, tell me about the camera, tell me about these microphones, you could just rattle stuff off for hours because you know what's going on. You know how to run a great podcast. You know how to make a great film. And all these people know how to do you make a living by doing this. That means you are an expert. You are a professional. So just start rattling it off. And if your personality is you're nervous and you're squirming around the chair, who cares?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had people literally sitting in a chair, we're ready to start recording, and they can't do it. They're so nervous. And that's fine. And at the same time though, if they say, how do we get more engagement on our social media? I say, you got to get your butt back in the chair.
Yeah. That's so good. What about from an audience perspective, from the people that are, that you're posting to?
Yep.
Because that's I've had it on YouTube where like the comment section or whatever,
Yep.
and that actually made me laugh quite a bit. But that's kind of more what I'm curious about is if the people you're posting for on their behalf, if the people of Facebook have nasty things to say.
Yeah. Shockingly, we haven't ran into that for any of our clients yet. And I don't know how, because I thought that would be a huge issue. For Cura Home, we had the haters for days in like 2018, 2019, 2020. And somehow over time, they just kind of disappear because they see like, we're not going away. I'm going to keep posting twice a day, every day. And I've been doing that since 2018. Like we post twice a day, every day.
You post twice a day. Wow.
Yeah, twice a day, every day. One static post, one reel every day. And it goes to our story and onto our feed every single day. And the haters eventually go away. But I've had people ask, like, working on my team or whatever, shouldn't we delete this comment or whatever? No. Let it go. Troll the trolls, right? People are like, oh, you're doing this wrong. You're like, sounds great. Thank you, Dr. Duct Cleaner, for telling me the best way to do this. Like, I'm the expert here. You're not. You're a troll in the comments. So another thing, what I can say, maybe you're not snarky. Maybe, like Wendy's, we all know, does a great job on their Twitter, like trolling people. Maybe you're not snarky, but if people have like a really great comment, I'm going to back up. The video that went really viral that we had for Cura Home and received 46 million views, the reason why is because we were cleaning an air duct, and I didn't even realize it when we posted it, but there was carpet fibers in the right-hand corner, and it looked like it could maybe potentially be a spider. And people started arguing in the comments, is it a spider or is it carpet fibers? Spider, carpet fiber. And literally that's what got thousands of comments. Like it just went crazy. So we let that. Now, when a troll comes in, and if they're like, this is fake news or whatever, you can literally say, thanks for leaving a comment. It's helping our engagement. It's helping the algorithm, right? Like, and I've done that, and they'll delete the comment. So they're like, well, crap, I'm actually helping you by commenting. Because when the trolls start commenting on your stuff, you're telling the algorithm, this person has an interesting content. It's grabbing my attention. And so you let it ride. So unless it's like so absolutely horrible, like we had like one customer, right, that was like out to get us. Even it's like, I'm just going to block you. Like, goodbye. Like you are just going, you're so crazy. It's nuts. So just block them.
That's a good word. Yeah, just block them if you have to.
But yeah, just block them. But
otherwise,
trolls,
they're helping the engagement.
Yeah, trolls are helping your engagement. Let them troll. Like invite the trolls. But
Do you
also
bait trolls?
No, I don't. I wish. We back in the day, man, with Curon, we'd have like guys from like across the world being like, no, this isn't the right way to do it. Okay, dude, this is like a 15-second video, man. Like you're not, I'm not explaining brain surgery in 15 seconds. So yeah, but with the way that we post content today, though, for our clients, there's just not really an opportunity. Like we're posting factual information that's coming off your website or what you said, and all of our clients, they're the subject matter expert. They're not making up. They're not lying. So it's like, what's the argue here?
Man, that's so good. Okay, I think that is most of what I want to cover on social media. Maybe the last, say somebody does just want to outsource this.
Mm-hmm.
They want to work with Constant Social. Pretty high level. Take us through kind of step by step of the value that they would receive and give us your best package that they would get.
Yeah, for sure. If someone's interested in working with us, what that journey kind of looks like is we'd sit down, we do an onboarding meeting. Usually that's done virtually on Zoom. Takes about 15-20 minutes to understand who's your target audience, what does that look like, what's that demographic, who's your referral partners, what's your voice, and we can get that pretty quick by looking at your current socials, your current website, and having that onboarding meeting with you. From there, we send you sample content. We send you 7 days to see. We're basically putting a feeler out there. It's like our first date. Hey, are we on the same page or are we doing a crappy job? You can click approve, and then once you click approve, that content will go out to your socials. Or you can leave a comment. You can say, Daniel, this sucks. Do again. We've had a client just write no. I mean, you can do whatever, but we send you all content. Nothing is ever posted without you clicking the approve button. Once we get that 7 days good to go, we actually create a month's worth of content. So sometime in the middle of the month, we send you the next month's content. and we're sending you the amount of content that you signed up for. We have some clients that we're posting for once every other day at a $375 per month. We have other clients that we're doing daily posts. We're including reels for $750. We have twice a day every day for $1250. We have some clients that are only doing engagement, and you can add engagement to any plan for $500 a month. That's where we're doing 30 plus comments a day, 30 plus likes a day, 5 days a week. And then we do have a geotagging software that's $349 per month, where when your guys are out in the field, techs are out in the field. It's for anyone in the home service industry or real estate, where you're out visiting your clients. You take a photo, say, here's where I am, here's what I'm doing, and that goes on your Google business profile, and it's going on your website. So we have packaged. If you sign up for the whole kit and boodle, you're just slightly over $2,000 a month, and we have clients, like I said, as low as $375 a month. And I believe we have a package for anyone. If you said, Daniel, can you post for me once a month? We could do it for you. If you wanted 5 times a day, what I will tell you is the people that are very serious, they are posting for at least once a day, and they are doing engagement. If you're only posting and you're not doing engagement, you're going to have a hard time seeing growth in your socials unless you're like Dr. Pimple Popper, or you have very satisfying content where almost every single time you post, people are sharing or forwarding that on. But that's going to take an effort from you as a business owner to get really great, satisfying content like that.
Amazing. Love it. One thing I didn't ask is, do you post the same content to all socials? Like, so when it's like TikTok versus Google My Business or whatever, is there any differentiation there? Or?
Yeah. So the scheduling software that we use to get content out, it does cater to the different ones, but it's pretty much the exact same content. And I hear different opinions on that, and it's kind of split 50-50 from like these people are like the experts, like the Gary V's of the world that have literally made millions just by creating content. I think he has a team of like 1,000 people. So my recommendation is just to start out by posting, at our level where we are, which we're like, I would say we're like for the common man, we're for like your typical small business owner. Posting on these socials is really great. Now, if you want to start going viral on TikTok, you gotta start posting. You're gonna have to post. If you want it to be huge, you're gonna have to post a couple times a day, every day, and doing engagement. That's just what you're gonna do. But to play the game that we want, which is we want social media to be a revenue driving tool for your business, posting consistently throughout those. The difference is TikTok and YouTube are not going to accept a static post. You have to be putting a video on those, and where all the other platforms accept both. So we've posted the exact same thing on Twitter of what we've done on Instagram. Cura Home has 37,000 followers on Instagram, and I think 50 on Twitter, because we haven't played Twitter's game, but also we're not like a media agency. We're not news. We're not a celebrity. We're not going to get followers on Twitter because we're not the right type of company for that platform. Where on TikTok and Instagram, we get a lot of people. Facebook, we get a lot of B2B work. Instagram, we get a lot of consumers coming from there. TikTok, we get a little bit of trolls, but mostly just like it's kind of a little bit of a popularity contest. Mm-hmm. So we're playing a different game. Google is doing really well for us SEO. We've really gained a lot there by putting short films up, just telling Google what we do and where we do it.
So for action steps, if you were to give advice on where somebody can start, do you start at one platform? Is it worth going to 3 platforms, the main 3? Or speak to that business owner right now that is bought in, wants to take some steps forward. What's like the 3 to 5 steps that they can do to get this going?
Bare bones, I would have a Facebook, a Google business profile, and a YouTube channel. Bare bones. Pretty easy to add Instagram into those 3. So I'd have those 4 platforms, and I would set up a schedule to be posting every single day. Just put out a static post. And if it's a screenshot of your website, whatever, just start. Just start getting it out there. And it's not going to be incredible in the beginning. Invite your friends, invite your family, ask your mom to like the comment, like the picture when she sees it. Just start posting. You have to start somewhere. If you look at any one of these people that have gone viral, if you looked at their very first video, it would be so horrible. You'd be like, I cannot believe you were ever this person. But it just keeps getting better. But you have to start. It's like going to the gym. You're not going to have a 6-pack after week 1, but you got to start. You got to get going there. You got to start flexing that muscle. So it also really depends on the genre of the business, which we try really hard to look at as well. For most home service businesses, these type of things work well. You and I were talking about coffee later. Instagram and TikTok might be a lot better for them compared to a Google business profile. So we do look at the genre of the business. Where is your target audience living? Where are they spending more time at? And so we dive. So every client is a little bit different, but I would really focus on Facebook, your Google business profile, and YouTube. If you're going to go for the bare bones, I would set up a scheduling software just to get content out there. But I'd also do a major time block. I would really focus on sitting down in a podcast or in front of a video of some sort, even in your car if you have to, and just start recording frequently asked questions. And you could hammer that out so fast and break those up into little bits and get them scheduled out. And if you have to redo it in the very beginning, when I started posting for Cura Home, we repeated the same content every 90 days because I didn't have time to do anything. And that even worked. No one even remembered it. So you can reuse content if you really need to in the very beginning if you're doing it yourself. We don't do that today. Disclaimer for Content Social, we don't repurpose stuff. But that worked for me in the very beginning.
You're running 4 businesses right now.
Yeah.
You're obviously not doing all aspects of the business yourself. You've grown teams. You've got systems in place. You're using AI, automations. Let's make this a short little 15-minute power episode about how you're making this work. So give us the high level right off the bat. Like, where do you even start? How do you manage this?
Yeah, so you got to look at your time. You got to look at its worth, and you got to start delegating from the very get-go. And every business owner that I talk to that's like stuck, they're hitting a ceiling, there's something that they're doing in their business that's worth like $15 an hour. I just guarantee it. And once you get that person in place, all of a sudden you're ready to go. And it was really hard for me to get past that. And back in I started Cure Home in 2016. In 2018, I was sitting there. I'm still one-man show, still working out of my garage, out of my truck. And I'm trying to get to the point where I have a full day worth of work booked out so that I can hire a technician to take over for me. The problem is I'm only getting from like 8 a.m. to 2 o'clock booked out every week. And I'm super frustrated with it. I'm like, I just need to get to 4. I just need to get to 5 o'clock. Well, luckily I sat down with a business coach and he's like, well, tell me this. If you weren't doing the work, how much work could you be generating working on your business? If you were out there meeting people, networking, shaking hands, maybe it's door knocking. I was like, honestly, I could be getting like 1 to 2, 3 clients a week. He's like, okay, what would that be worth? So this is January. I'm doing $8,000 a month in sales, busting my butt. I'm there's my elbow, my hands are dirty, right? I'm in the field. I'm answering phones. I'm working like 16-hour days. Stupid. So honestly, if I got 2 clients a month or a week, I would be at like 25 grand a month in sales by December. So I go from 8 grand to 25. He's like, so what's the holdup? I'm like, I don't have a full day for a guy. He goes, it's because you're doing all the stupid work. You're not building the business. I left that meeting, went to the bank, applied for a vehicle loan, got it, bought the vehicle loan, hired a tech, sent him out. By March, I needed a second van because that guy was so busy. I stopped cleaning air ducts. I stopped doing routine home maintenance, and I started doing that. So in your business, what is it? Is it answering the phones? Is it networking? Is it trimming the tree? Someone else can do it. And I think what's so hard is so many people get stuck thinking, I'm the only person who can do that. But I have got really great news for you. You're just not that special. You're not. And when you start to think of it that way, and I would actually argue that if that was their only focus, if their only job was to do one hell of a great job cleaning air ducts, they could do it way better than you can because you're answering emails. You're trying to answer phones. You're turning off the air compressor, the vacuum to try to schedule that next client. If someone was sitting in the office doing that, they could do a way better job. So most entrepreneurs that have 1 to 3 employees, 1 to 5 employees are so stuck that they're the only one who could do an estimate properly, sales properly, answer the phones properly, do the technician work properly. And they think I can't afford to hire someone to do this, but you have to look at these tasks that are worth $15, $20, $25 an hour and think about what's your time. If you were going to go apply at a job, what would you take? And everything below that, you have to start delegating out.
Okay, so I understand this. When did you feel comfortable, or how should somebody think about that first hire? With how much runway in the bank should you have? And what did you look for in that first hire? Give me like the real practical, tactical about hiring that first person.
Yeah, home service business. I was looking for a guy who was athletic. Maybe you got a farm boy attitude. You're showing up on time. We have the same core values. We agree on the same things. We value work-life balance, work hard, play hard. Like it really comes down to your core values. Does this person agree with me the same point? Or on Friday afternoon, are they going to do a crap job after 2:30 because all they're thinking about is, I got paid today, I'm going out to the bars tonight, can't wait. Okay, you and I don't share the same core values. Like I have a work hard, play hard, get the job right job no matter what, no matter the time of day, no matter what. So find some of those core values. When I started Cure Home, I took out a $32,000 equity line against my house. all right, here we go. Here's my runway. I've got 32 grand and I was dipping into it because I'm trying to get got to buy 6-7 grand worth of equipment. So the runway isn't very long for early entrepreneurs. And sometimes you just have to make it work no matter what. So, but what I tell you is that a lot of times, like if you have a payroll or something like that, it's going to be tight with your first technician. But you got to, that first person you hired, they just have to match your core values, and they have to be someone that you look at and be like, could you train someone else in? Like if I hire you and you do everything the way that I'm going to do it, could you train in guy number 2? So for the very first person, what might be a really good idea is say, hey, I'm looking for someone, join me part-time. This is a 1-week trial period. I just want to see how you do. And you're going to find out really quick, are they going to do as good of a job as I am? Or are they going to, talk smart to a client? Would they accept a tip if someone paid it in marijuana? Like things like, it's like, we got to find someone with the same core values. So, but that runway, that financial runway, it's probably one thing that I think a lot of people really make a mistake on when they're starting a business is they don't realize financially how much it's going to cost. And some people don't pay their invoice. Some people pay an invoice 30 days late, 60 days late. Are you okay with that as a business owner? And so when you start a business, you got to really save as much cash as you can. But like when we started Constant Social, one of the very first things I said to my business partner was, how would Jeff Bezos run this? How would a shark off Shark Tank run this? They wouldn't be creating the content. They wouldn't be doing this. They'd be hiring salespeople. They'd be hiring content creators. They'd have systems and processes for every single one of those people to follow, and they would get those people in place and they'd be running with it. They would not be out there knocking door to door. It'd be below their hourly wage.
Love that. Okay. I do want to go right there though. So you hire that guy. Now you go sell.
Yes.
Tell me what worked with selling.
Yep. I hate paid ads, right? I hate like one-time things. I hate a magazine that goes into a house and it's going to go in the garbage 2 weeks later. I love long-term things that are going to continue selling for you. Those are relationships with referral partners. That's your reputation, and that's SEO. Those are the things that are going to long-term people are going to remember. So starting with referral partners, who knows your client before you two? If I was an orthodontist, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be meeting with all the dentists in a 20-mile area, telling them how great I am and how we're going to refer work back and forth, because a dentist comes in, someone that's got jacked up teeth, and says, hey, have you ever thought about seeing an orthodontist? Because I know my buddy Jimmy. I see him once a month. We talk shop. He does a really great job. You should go hire him. That's the very first thing I would be doing, is engaging with those people. And it's a lifelong, as long as you do what you say you're going to do, you do a great job for the clients that they refer, it creates a lifelong funnel of jobs coming in, because that person knows your client before you do. And almost every single person, every single industry that I've ever worked with, someone knows your client before you do. And you got to be in front of that person. Then it's playing the SEO game.
Wait, 1 sec. What's the pretext for that conversation so it doesn't come off so self-serving?
Yeah, you got to find out a win-win, right? So like for us, I'll give you, Cura Home is a really great example with home inspectors. We don't really do a lot for home inspectors. Like we don't, we never have someone asking, no one ever calls Cura Home and says, who can inspect my home? However, we're a great referral partner for home inspectors because they inspect the entire home. And this new homeowner is like, I didn't even know there was a filter there, and I didn't even know that was a problem. You're right. Here's what I tell home inspectors. Rather than you sitting there trying to make this person become a great homeowner who's going to do their routine home maintenance, I can save you like an hour or two and say, I understand you have a ton of questions. Cura Home is a company to call for this. They will come in and they will show, they're the experts in routine home maintenance. I'm really great at inspecting the home. They're going to show you everything that needs to be maintained here. They can even do it for you for an affordable rate. But like what you hired me today to do is inspect it. I'm not going to do this. And they're like, oh, thank God. I hate having those conversations with people. Perfect. Win-win. We get a ton of stuff for that. HVAC companies, on the other hand, you got to be referring them when you're in a home and you see a furnace that's not working. If we're not asking clients, hey, part of our routine home maintenance package, we do all these things. However, we're not doing the annual tune-up for your furnace, which is recommended by manufacturers. Have you used an HVAC company in the past year or two to have that done? They're like, no, we don't. Do you know someone? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Here's the 3 companies that we refer in your area. I've met with the owner. No, great job. So that's the 2 ways.
Gotcha.
What's the value add? If you dive deep enough of thinking, how can I support you? But But there's a lot of companies out there that they're like, I don't even care if you never send me anything. Just please do a great job. Do a great job.
Yeah.
And that's answering the phones, showing up when you said you're going to show up, do the job that you said you were going to do at the price you quoted.
Love that. So who knows your customer before you do? SEO we've touched on in the previous social media episode. Is that what you're gonna go into next? The SEO?
I think SEO it's a long-term game. You've got to be consistently posting. Like if you have a crappy website or whatever, people are doing a pulse check on you. I don't think you need to spend 20, 30, 40 grand on a website, but you got to have something there. You got to be present. You need to be consistently posting to platforms, blogs, videos, things like that.
Gotcha. And there was a third thing that you said that lasted?
Your reputation.
Reputation.
Yep. So doing a really great job.
Gotcha.
If you're showing up and you're low price in, high price out, or things like that, like you start getting those tiers out. So a first tier referral would be someone who you met. Hey, great, Danny, you had me out to clean your air ducts at your home. Awesome. Have you referred anyone? Maybe not. If not, that's my fault. We didn't do a good enough job to build a great enough reputation where you're bragging to your friends about whatever. And I've used this example with my technicians. They're like, well, we're doing what we said we're going to do. And I use an example. One of my guys went to Vegas and he came back and he was bragging about spending $45 on a can of Red Bull. $45 for a can of Red Bull. And he's bragging about it. This is a guy who makes an hourly wage. Like, he's, not, and I was like, tell me why you were bragging about that Red Bull that you could have got for $2.99 at a gas station a mile away. He's like, it was the experience, man. It was just so crazy. And he's like, I was so willing to pay it. Like, it was he's like, I wanted to stay longer. I needed that Red Bull. Like, I wanted it. And he was like, it was so awesome. I'm like, wouldn't you argue that like someone might think you were like foolish for spending $45 when you could have bought like 2 cases for that same price? He's like, dude, no, man, it was so awesome. It was such an awesome experience. So I use that example from a guy to say, do I think we're the most expensive company in anything? No, we're not. We're not the most expensive across the board. But how do we provide someone that type of experience where they're bragging to their friends? It was so worth it to call this company. You have to. It was white glove treatment, or the guy who showed up was the nicest young man I've ever met, or they had the cleanest vehicle, or they did one thing extra. Like I didn't even expect it, but the guy's like, he went up on my roof and cleaned out my gutters. We didn't even pay him to do that. I was going to pay a company like $200 next week to do it. And they just did it for me. Like, how do you do one thing extra so that when that homeowner is sitting there having her hair done next week, she's just talking up a storm about you?
Is that a designed thing that you tell your employees?
100%.
Hey, look to
Yes.
do one thing extra.
Do one thing extra. We've carried Christmas trees in for people. We've shoveled off their front driveway. We've swept out utility rooms. We've swept out garages. I'm talking about 3 to 5 minute task. And it will it'll last an impression forever.
Wow, dude, that's incredible.
Yeah, and
that's gold.
But you have to do it today, because you play this. If you're playing this game of like, I'm gonna pay an ad more than the next guy, I'll pay $55 for ad. Well, the next guy's like, okay, I'll pay $56.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, this is cool. We're just getting the next, Bill Gates or Zuckerberg another house. Like, is this really the game we want to play? But when you start playing these games of you have a client that's just selling for you because they had such an incredible experience, where do you want to put your time, your value in? We're doing a complete rebrand at Cura Home, literally based on this. My guys in the next 6 months are going to be walking into a house wearing white gloves. They're going to lay a rug out that shows we are here to service your home. They're going to have white gloves that have the touch points so they can use the iPad. So the customer literally is receiving white glove treatment at their home. It's going to be a completely different service. We are going to be the $45 Red Bull that people are like, I had the most incredible experience. We're not changing our pricing, but we're changing that experience. Clients are like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Anything else white glove related besides the one extra thing that would help?
Yeah, for follow up, showing people that, sharing your core values, things like that with people, like telling your story. There's like a new software getting into AI a little bit. We were talking about this with, that's actually, it'll listen to your salespeople. It shares like stats, and the close rate for people that are sharing the company story goes up significantly when it's shared with the homeowner compared to someone that just comes in and says, hey, I can install a new furnace for you for, $6,000. And they're like, well, like, even no matter what your pricing is, the guy who shared the company story has a higher close rate than the guy who didn't. And so there's all these little things that go into, like, people want to work with someone they like, who they know, who they trust. How do you become that brand? And it starts with the business owner. It starts with your core values, and it's expanding that out. It's hiring the right people that really like put a megaphone on that, and it's really, here's who we are, and whoever you work with, we're the same. We don't have a preferred tech for your home, because all of our guys do the same thing the same way every single time. It's systems and processes. So here's my last bit of advice. Never answer the same question twice. You're going to have to, but your goal should be to never do that. So if you get a question, hey, what do you do when you can't get a air duct vent cover off, whatever, document it. Write down the 3 possible things. Then you train your guys in on that. We actually have uploaded all of our training documents into a bot on ChatGPT. So the guys ask the bot, what do I do here, before they call me. Additionally, I use the 1-3-1 rule. You have one problem. I want you to come up with 3 potential solutions that you think I would pick. And then you can call me and tell me the one thing. Well, what happens immediately is no one calls you, because they were forced to think critically. They were forced to come up with 3 potential solutions for the problem. And immediately they stop, because they get to like the second or third potential thing. They're like, well, this is a no-brainer. Daniel would say to use care and cut the epoxy around the thing, talk to the homeowner, let them know that there is a risk that this could break, but I am able to get it out if you're willing to accept that risk.
Yeah.
That's what Daniel would tell me to do, based on the core values that we have at this company. Luckily, we have everything documented. We have 500 pages with our SOPs telling you who, why, what, when, how, frequently asked questions, and how to prevent callbacks, and we keep those updated. But day one, you don't have those things.
Man, it's a wealth of knowledge. We could go for hours. We're going to cap it here. One last question, though, which hopefully isn't a can of worms, but people are going to say, okay, this is awesome. Well, where do you find these guys or girls? Like, where do you find these employees? Is it Indeed? Is it personal network? How are you sourcing great employees?
Yep. Today in 2024, we're finding guys on Indeed. It's also word of mouth. It's talking to a guy who is currently working for a company, and it's a great cultural fit, and saying, hey, Joe, do you have any buddies who want to work here? Because you probably hang out with people that are just like you. You guys probably have the same core values, believe in the same things. So let's find those people. But I had a great manager, a great guy in place. I found him off Craigslist. That was 2017, but I found him on Craigslist. Who would have thought, right? So you just never know. You never know where your guys are. I had a guy the other day, my wife and I went out for our 7th anniversary. We were 1 oyster short of our dozen, and I'm like, whatever, who cares? My wife's like, hey, just a heads up, the kitchen may have shorted us an oyster. And he looks like, sure enough, I only see 11 shells there. He's like, you didn't pocket one, did you? We're like, no, but whatever, we don't care. We just want to let you know. Comes back, he's like, hey guys, at the end of the day, he's like, got the bill. He's like, I just want to let you know, I comped the beer for you. This guy's young. He's like 18. I comped a beer for you, didn't charge you for the 12th oyster, just charge you for the 11. And, really sorry for the mistake. That's not what we do here. I didn't see him talk to a manager or everything. I gave that guy a $60 tip. Like, he's the type of guy that I want working at my company. He said we made a mistake. Here's what I did to take care of it. I've also corrected it for future things. And so if I was looking to hire someone right now, I would have told that guy, hey, if you're ever looking for a different job, I've got like 4 companies. I'd love to have any of them, because you'd be a great fit. I don't even care about your skill set. Culturally, you can do anything. You're awesome. And so it was just, and there was a lot more that went into that experience. The way I asked you to recommend the scallops or the grouper, and he's like, you can make grouper at home, but he's like, it's really hard to make a great scallop. He's like, I would know. I'm like, dude, you for sure like live at home, but I'm like, I can tell you've listened. You've heard someone say that when you were in training, that say that it's hard to make a great scallop at home. And damn it, you're right. Like, it is. And so I'm getting scallops, and that was like $15 more plate, but like, he was right. So you've got someone that's like, just from that experience, you can just tell, like, you are different. And those people are out there. They're everywhere. And you got to just keep your eye open for them. I'm looking to hire a phenomenal general manager for all my companies. And it's going to take me a long time. I'm talking like a 5-6 month time frame here, but I'm going to find someone, and they're probably working somewhere. They're probably being underutilized. They're probably working in a company that doesn't pull people up fast enough. And I'm going to tell them, hey, you ever want to sit down? I'm interviewing someone today that just kind of came out of the woodwork, and I'm really excited about it.
Amazing. Well, we better get you to that interview. It's coming up here soon. Daniel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Any parting words of wisdom?
It's a grind. It's a fight. I highly encourage you, if you're listening to this podcast and you're feeling defeated in your business today, to sit down and write down some goals. Write down, what do you want to be doing in 5 years? What does that look like? And I additionally encourage you to look back at who you were 5 years ago and ask yourself, am I doing things today that would make myself proud 5 years ago? Did I see myself here today? And if the answer is no, what I want you to start doing today is I want you to start doing things today that will make yourself proud in 5 years. And I want you to think about those goals. I want you to write them down. I want you to share them as your screensaver on your phone. I want you to put a Post-it note on your mirror, whatever you have to do to remind yourself of that you have to be doing things today that make yourself proud in 5 years. If you're going to send out a Christmas card this year, are you proud of the things you got done this year or not? And you got to really focus on that stuff. And it takes consistency. You don't get a 6-pack in a day. You don't make $1 million overnight. You got to keep focusing on those things. So championships are won over years and years and years of doing the same consistent things over and over and over.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.